Hey, this is Russell Dilday. I'm here with my really good friends, Chris Dawson, Jake Gorel, and our mentor, Dawn Murphy. We're here to talk about the Hackamore. It's one of those pieces of equipment that a lot of people, the biggest thing they're afraid of is tying the knot, and we're going to get to that at the end. I mean, a lot like life, a lot of people are that way. Tying that knot.
Some of them have to do it a couple times.
Yeah, well, sometimes do it a couple times. Sometimes you untie it, you can't get that thing back together right. But we're going to go through the shapes, the firmness, soft ones, and shape, the size, and hopefully give people a little better understanding of it, because it's probably the greatest trainer piece of equipment that there is. And when you get one trained in a Hackamore, it is sweet. It's fun when they're there. So Murph, why don't you give us the first one? We'll start this off.
Okay. When I was young and started the horse, my dad trained horses and stuff. And the Hackamore was our tool. We didn't use a snaffle. I put a snaffle, and my dad said, "Go hook it to the buggy." You know, it's a drive. Hackamore, you ride him. Snaffle, you drive him. And this was a vaquero style. So, you know, they started out with the Hackamore. First day, they put the Hackamore on. They put a big old Hackamore on. Usually at 1 inch Hackamore, loose. Where, you know, it just the weight, they were heavy. I had some, my dad's, I still got them, they're big, heavy Hackamores, and they just, the weight, they teach them to follow that way across, you know.
And why did they start with the Hackamore instead of the snaffle? Or?
It was a vaquero style, and the horses' mouths weren't, when they started them, wasn't fully developed.
For the bit.
For the bit. And we, you know, in other words, they wouldn't put a bit in their mouth till their teeth were all developed.
You know, and another thing is they're not starting them when they're 2 with the Hackamore.
No,
were they?
They were coming fours. They were most of them were fours.
Yeah,
We never even touched one until they were coming fours.
Yeah, because the theory there was that their bones and joints weren't developed yet.
Yep.
Because there were going to be hard days once they started.
Yeah, because you know everybody was a rancher. That's where the vaquero style came from. They used it out on the ranch, so they would ride these horses in the Hackamore for a year or so until they got them going good. And when they started in the Hackamore, they rode their hands really wide, just plow the rein left, right, you know. And as we got through the process, when we almost got to the 2 rein, we're down to riding them one-handed in the Hackamore. So we start wide, knuckles up, because the Hackamore works left and right. And start doing the big ones, and we worked from there were 1 inch Hackamores that we used. And then we went to 3/4, to a 5/8, to a 1/2 inch, down to a 2 rein. And as we came down, our hands came closer. You know, so, you know, and then it depends on the horses, you know. And most of the Hackamores in them days were 12 inches. You know, they were pretty long because they were big old nose horses. You know, nowadays we're riding 10 and a halves, you know. So
11's a pretty good size one now.
11's big right now.
Yeah.
But
I don't know if I've ever seen a 12.
Yeah, I got 12s.
Yeah.
I got some. Yeah, I got some of my grandpa's Hackamores. They're long. Because, you know, first of all, they're older when they start them in them. So they're,
Right.
And then they were just bigger headed horses.
Yeah. And, you know, they had, you know, there wasn't that much rope below them. You think on 12-inch Hackamore, you have a lot of rope. Today you have this much, you know, have 6 inches probably of rope down there, you know, wrapped around it. And coming with the ropes that the old timers always said the rope should be the same size as the Hackamore. You know, never you rode 1 inch Hackamore and 1 inch rope.
Yeah, when you get a small rope, a small McCarty on a heavy Hackamore, it's not there.
Right.
Yep.
It is just don't have that feel.
So, you know, and this one, like this one here is, you know, is rougher braided, and most of them were the starting Hackamores, they call them. They were, you know, not real fine braided. They wanted a little roughness to get the horses off them, you know. And because a lot of them were pretty bronky, you know, it wasn't just getting on them like they do. You know, most horses, they don't buck, but them days they were wild.
They all buck.
Yeah, they all bucked and so it's a different error, but the Hackamore still should be a process of the vaquero style terrain. We kind of lost it quite a bit, and I don't think people realize how much you can get done with them, because you can take a Hackamore and it's going to expose a lot of spots you have on your horse. You didn't even feel it. And the Hackamore will tell you, hey, and the reason that in the Hackamore, the snaffle, you ride in a snaffle, you pull the left rein, it pulls the left side of their mouth. Hackamore, you pull the left rein, it pulls the right side of their face. So when you go in the bridle and rein them in the bridle, it pulls on the right side of the face. So that was a whole thought process behind Hackamore 2 rein bridle, because that's what their process was. Okay? So this is probably one of the starting Hackamores we got here. It's not quite an inch. This one too.
So a little bit, Murph, on this one, and the difference in how big those braids are versus, say, even that one.
Right. The smaller the braid, the smoother they are. And for a trainer to train a horse in, we like them a little more bite to them, just for them to use them. And the nose here is very important. We don't want a long nose. A 7-inch nose is good. If you get them too long, then they don't fall off the chin fast enough, right off the jaw. They'll hang up there. Pick them up and you give them, they just go slow off there. We want that quick release, so you get off and get the other side.
So the farther that these hangers are forward, the more weight there is on the back of the Hackamore.
Right.
So then that falls away easier, where if the pivot point was here,
Right.
that would just fall away.
Right.
Slow.
Yeah.
They will just hang there. We want that release. And a Hackamore, we don't want a Hackamore that's dead feeling. In other words, when you bend it, like this one don't pop back as fast. That one, see how it springs back? That's what we're looking for in a Hackamore. No matter how soft they are, they should spring back to the shape. Because if they bend and hang, it means they're going to hang on a horse. Hang on that chin.
And so when we're talking about 1/2 inch, 5/8, and all of that, we're measuring, you would be measuring this.
Right.
This can vary.
Right.
And
Well, they got 2 noses. They got the built-up nose, kind of like this one is, where it gets bigger in the center. And then they got the noses that are the same all the way across, like this one is. So
Probably show that to the camera.
this is a 2 rein, but it's got the same nose. Where the other one's built up.
It stays real symmetrical all the way through that nose.
so when you're measuring, what one you want to untie, Chris?
Yeah, untie 'em.
How important is the heel knot to you, Don? Does it matter? Does it depend on, is there something you're looking for if you get a bigger heel knot, a heavier one, or lighter?
Yeah, haven't got it. I really don't think it's,
That significant.
yeah.
Yeah.
So if you're measuring that for length,
Maybe from here to there.
Inside.
inside,
Yeah,
so it's just gonna be from right there
yeah.
to the inside of that. That one is about 10 3/4, it looks like. Yeah, so this is how much longer. I actually have one that's a 13.
You do?
Yeah,
I
it's
haven't
about,
had
that's how much longer it'd be. This is a 12-inch. I mean, that doesn't seem much on the tape, but when you put that on there,
Yeah,
baby, it's a ways.
Yeah.
Cause you've only got a 5/8 Makati, and you go around there 3 times, it takes a ton of it out of there.
What happens with a long Hackamore, you put a lot more wraps on, so that changes the whole balance point on the Hackamore.
Yeah.
So,
Makes it heavier.
yeah. And, it depends what a person wants in field, like this Hackamore right here is a stiff Hackamore, really stiff. And I like stiff Hackamores. A lot of people like softer Hackamores. But to me, a horse tells me what I need to use. It's not
Right.
what I like so much, it's what the horse likes, But I gotta get my results with it, so a stiff one kind of fits me. you know, and when you pull a hackamore, I was always taught to ask them to come, but don't bump them. But don't bump first, bump second. Because if they come with your pull, why bump them? If they don't come, then you bump them.
Yeah.
So some people like to bump first, and it's fine with me, but it kind of makes, when you bump a horse, they kind of do that to me, where if I pull them, hey, we're going this way, now get off it. So I pull them, they'll come, and then I get off them, the good ones.
I'm not tickle out of butt tunes about it.
From him.
Yeah.
Yeah, from him. And what happens when you hang on a hackamore?
Takes
The,
two to
the,
pull.
har-
Takes two to pull.
It's usually when you're just hanging on to stay on.
the biggest thing about
Balance.
using a hackamore, and I see people do a lot lately, is when you pull one, you want to kind of come out to 45, so the hackamore only hits one side. As they start around, then you come to the outside rein just a little bit. But if you leave them straight and you come to them, it just locks on their chin. And if it locks on their chin, you might just not even pat it on their heads, because it's not made to be that way,
You see, that's probably what I see the most as far as mistakes being made out there in the world. You watch them ride around there, and you can watch that heel knot. And when he's talking about locking it on there, that heel knot comes up there, and then I can see them, they're doing this, but you watch that hackamore, and it ain't doing nothing.
Not much.
It's just that knot's right here, and it's just hung on. And these guys are
drives
pulling,
me
and they're doing
crazy.
this, and that horse is just
Yeah.
doing that, and it's like, well, you might as well hung that on the fence post right there.
So that's when
I
people
hate
are
that.
really having trouble with it because they don't realize how a hackamore works, It works left and right, If you ride this way and pull it, it's going to lock both sides. If you ride this way and do this, it's going left, right.
Yeah, the
Kind of like
pull.
watching them in a snaffle.
Yep.
Get down here and pull like this and try and beat them bars up with a snaffle like that. Good work.
Yeah.
Let me know how that works for you.
And the other thing that drives me crazy in the hackamore is them trying to get them to over bridle in it.
And that
so
right there,
that
you see
all
that
their
too.
motion,
Yeah,
that horse is learning to go forward with
push,
a lot of
push
pull.
through it, yep.
And when
You
you
know-
get to rolling, that is an unpleasant feeling.
It's just like having your reins tucked to their chest.
Yeah.
Right.
You're
Yeah.
one on their chest.
Yeah.
And,
The head's going.
I've seen a lot of hackamores these people use, and they're real long ones. And I watch them where they're getting horses real deep in the hackamore's hitting them in the chest.
What?
It's like a reverse diving.
Yeah.
And they're just getting after them. And it's not doing no good. They're just pulling them on the chest, huh?
Yeah. I
So,
can get down there and let you
Put reins on your breast.
get them reins on their shoulders and hold you off.
I know the more butt tunes I took about riding a hackamore, the better I felt riding in a snaffle. When you talk about the knuckles up,
Yep.
and being a little more flat-handed about it, it keeps you from why when you go here, it seems like it doesn't matter what angle you put on. If you turn your hand like that, that heel knot just locks.
right, yep.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
And you watch. I've seen it a lot. It's terrible.
It's, when we get the one, I was always taught, when you ride hackamore or snaffle, thumb should be pointing at each other. When you ride a bridle, thumb should be up.
Mm-hmm.
It's that simple, So, if you're riding this way and the bridle this way, you're not riding it right because you're making the outside rein get shorter and they don't guide good. But anyway, getting back to the hackamore, I think the hands is really a big deal in the hackamore, like we were just talking, and as these horses get broke, as you go through the hackamore stage, as you go through it, you should be able to move your hands in more because when you pick that hand up, the horse is going to come easy to that side. As you get them broke there, but you got to ride a lot in it to get them good. And if you don't ride a lot in it, it never happens. So to get to the two rein stage, you got to get these horses pretty broke where when you actually get down there, you go one hand because we roped Dr. Cal with a hackamore on. It was no putting bits on or nothing. We roped on in the hackamore. So we got these horses broke to ride one-handed. That was the process we worked to. So if we didn't get there, we couldn't get the two rein wouldn't work. So
Yeah, it's not a good backup if you never get it to one hand.
nope.
The two-rein hackamore is not a glorified capstan.
No.
No,
That's not what that's for.
that's irritating.
That's, yes.
No, if in the old days, you know, in the two-ring glass, if you didn't use the two-ring with your bit, they hurt you for it. They just wouldn't let you just hang on their heads,
Yeah.
because it's supposed to be helping them become a bridle horse. Nowadays, they just hang, a lot of people hang on their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that point is just like you said, not being a cavesson, putting it on there so tight it just holds their mouth shut. Well, I've seen them do that a lot with the Hackamore too. They try to shape it to their face, and it just fits on there. Well, the point is that it's bigger than the face, and they can feel it coming.
Here's one shaped good.
Yeah.
See how it comes down? It's wide here.
Yep.
So it stays off the side of that face, you know? And we do that by putting a coffee, we used to do it with a coffee can. Now the coffee cans are plastic, so that works very well
Right.
anymore.
It's a struggle.
So I use PVC couplings, you know,
Yeah.
put it
Yeah,
in there, and
me too.
then we tie it up here, around here is where that Hackamore shapes, so it fits loosely on their face, and they get released because they come like a scissor where it's really tight. It sticks on their chin too long.
Now, do you like the wood shapers that they have?
No, they're good.
They're okay?
Yeah, they're really good. Yeah.
In Porterville, I had a steel door that didn't open, and I welded pipe the size of a coffee
Yeah.
can on the whole thing, and that's where I put my Hackamores.
Oh, nice.
I didn't hang them by the hanger. I
Hung 'em.
put
Did you
them
untie them every day?
No.
You left them tied?
Yeah.
I left
did
mine
leave them
tied too.
tied.
You know, they preach that untying the ropes and stuff. But as a horse trainer, we're untying ropes.
Oh,
It's, you know, I never had no.
I was
trouble.
afraid
we should
to.
have brought a can in and.
I was
showed 'em
afraid to
how
untie
shape.
them. I
Yeah,
didn't
but-
think I could ever get it back.
You know, it's just too hard to untie these
Yeah.
ropes every time.
The pipe, I was conscious of pulling them apart and putting them on there. I would like the plastic better, you know, because you run them on that pipe,
Wears
the
them out.
sweat. You could start wearing that strand off in there if you were running it out, especially with all the sweat and stuff getting on there, and that pipe starts rusting. You know, it's not smooth, but like he said, the PVC. I wished I would, if I did again, I would weld the pipes and then small enough that I could slide the PVC over
Oh,
it
right.
and just
Yeah.
put them on there. And then you just, it just keeps that shape, that open shape. When they start getting tight and they're just
don't feel
squeezing on that, there's no, like he said, you're pulling out here, but all you're really doing is dragging them. There's no, hey, that touched you, now get away. It's touched them from the beginning, so.
Yeah.
You know, I can get a lot more flexibility on my horses left and right in the Hackamore than just a straight snaffle. They get lean on me. I put a Hackamore on them, give them off me, you know. Meanwhile, showing snaffle bears, I rode my horse in the Hackamore lodge, you know, and got them off and showed them in the snaffle.
Yeah.
You know, so
Another thing is being at, like, I'll see a lot of the bottom being so wide that when they pull,
it hits them in the jaw.
it hits them in the jaw and it never gets. When you're in trouble, you go get a little longer one and you tighten that up on the bottom. You get to where that's touching those little bars
their
right
cheeks.
there, and they'll come here. But if it's just out there wide and you're dragging them around, then once you've got them saying, hey, I don't want no more of that, then you can go back and get softer and softer.
Big thing with your ropes and stuff on them, you know, like this rope's the same size as your Hackamore. If it was bigger, it wouldn't feel right to me, you know. But it's the same size, so it matches your Hackamore. You put wherever you need on it. This one's tied like I tied most of mine, because as showing horses, what'd you say?
It's a weird.
Weird. You're the one that hollered at him. These are all his Hackamores.
But we tied them like this. Benny tied them. Bobby Ingersoll tied them. We all tied them like this, so we could loosen them up or tighten them up.
Yeah.
If you tie them like it says in the book, you can't do it.
Right.
Yeah. That's what Benny showed me, is that right there.
Yeah.
It's one of the biggest
Like
things
the half hitch.
ever. Yeah,
Half
that
hitch.
half hitch over there. And then if
I
you're
don't
in
even know how
trouble,
to tie
you
it the other way.
Huh?
I don't even know how to tie it the other way. I've seen
Yeah,
it, and I
I
mean,
haven't tied one for so long the other way, you know. Because people ask me tie their Hackamore, I said, well, the way I tie is ain't by the book, so,
Yeah.
you know, huh? And to set a Hackamore on a horse's nose, you know, just by a rule of hand, at least a hand from the top of the nostril to where your Hackamore sits.
What do you define as the top of the nostril?
Where the top of the nostrils.
Where the air holes
Right.
and then go up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put your hand there, this Hackamore will be up there in the range where, you know, I probably rode mine just a hair higher. But for the average person to do it, that's a good spot to start with. You're off the, I don't want them down there in that soft part of the nose. A lot of people like put them in the soft. All I did was like a tourniquet on the end of their nose, you know, to cut the air off.
there.
You know, so we like them up there. And, you know, I like, you know, like this one's got probably one extra wrap that I would like on it right now, you know, for if I was resetting it, you know. But, you know, this one's bulged out here. It can be fixed first now.
So Don, when you do set them, I think I remember the old days, you would say, you move them around a little bit.
Yeah,
Like you'd find a nice sweet spot.
All right, yep.
And
Stay
like
off
you
of it.
stay off it, and then
Yeah.
then I think I remember you telling me push it up or pull it down,
Yep.
save that spot.
Yep,
Is that right?
you bet. To show them, yeah. When we're
Yeah.
showing them more.
So it's funny, we find that sweet spot and we want to ride in it more.
Yep.
And it almost numbs it up.
Yeah.
So, but if you move it around, you know, make it more difficult to train maybe sometimes. And then when you go show, you always need more when you show.
There's three kinds of Hackamore horses. There's the nose Hackamores that'll work off that nose. The chin don't really come in play. There's a chin Hackamore horse, and there's one that the old timer said they work off the whole side of their face.
And that's
When
the
you pull
cheeks.
this whole thing pushes on. You know?
And that's the cheeks here?
right. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. So the best one I ever found was the nose one. They last forever. I mean, you could show Black Hawk Willie. I put it on when he was 14 years old. He felt as good as did when he was a 5-year-old. You know, you know, because he was a nose Hackamore horse. The ones work off their chin, they'll probably last less because I don't know why, but that's what they always have with me. You know, but the nose ones, they're really stay good. Because when you get all that nose, they give their heads and they'll never let that hit their chin very hard. Now, when you run down and stop them, they're all off their nose.
So, probably too mentally in your mind thinking about whether you're getting a hold of that chin or you're getting a hold of that nose, you'll change your pull.
You bet.
And I mean, you got to train yourself to, hey, maybe I need to go the nose, the chin, side of the face. And you wouldn't think that. You would think
Right.
it's going to go where it goes, but that's not true.
So in that situation, you would, if you're going to pull right, you'll balance it with your left
Yep.
rein a little bit.
Yep.
So it doesn't go to the chin.
Right.
So that's where,
Yeah. And you don't have to once they get as they get trained better. They'll balance. They'll learn to balance all that stuff. You know, that's what we use it for. So they learn that balance. So when we get in the bridle, they already got that balance there, and they know where we're going with that bitch. You know what?
yeah.
You know, I mean, some of the stuff, you know, today everybody wants to train pretty fast. So, you know, it's hard to go through this whole vaquero tradition because they roam long hours and they just spend time with it, you know, and the Hackamore and then the two-rein, the bridle. I mean, they would take 2 years to bridle a horse. They'd leave it hanging their mouth or ride them around, you know, because most of them guys start them all in spades. In the old days, but they let that spade hang in their mouth for a year, you know, without already touching it, you know. So it's, you know, it's still a good way of doing things, and I've speeded up my process while still training, you know, and because I rode for all my 5-year-olds in a two-rein. I'll show them the Hackamore or snaffle, whatever you want to be doing. I rode them that two-rein with the bit in their mouth, so as it comes 6 years old, I have bridles.
They're packing it.
Yeah.
When you told me that, I know it's a little off subject, but when we were talking about bridling up, I always thought you would go small and the old bridle horse was
Right.
in the spade. And when he told me, oh no, the younger
Other
ones
way.
are in the spade, I
Yep.
thought this guy was crazy. But man, it's so sweet.
Because, you know,
They just-
so
they
much
just-
better.
if you start out big
Yeah.
and work small, like Bald and Shine, he started out in the spade, and then as we showed him over the years, we kept going smaller. And when CJ Chappelle started, we showing him using the lightest bit he ever been in, a little
Yeah.
light 7-bit, you know. And he was a spade bit horse early in life. But that's what their theory. The Hackamore start big, go small.
Yeah, that's what I was
Bridles,
just gonna say. It's
smart,
exactly the same.
smart. Nowadays, you start small because you want to get in them quick, and then you go till you run out of bridles.
But probably, yeah,
So,
that's
so
right.
this year, I've got two two-rein horses this year. Okay, both of them I've had through the Hackamore. I've had them not the whole time, but they were both pretty darn good Hackamore horses. So as I got into that two-rein, I was able to put that on there. So I thought, okay, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to hang that spade on. And I mean, there was days I'd ride them with that spade on and not even hook reins to the rest.
Right.
Yeah.
And just go ride in my two-rein. I might even ride them two-handed
Yeah,
in my
I
two-rein
did too,
Hackamore.
yeah.
Just leave that and hang on them. And I showed them the first couple times I showed them was in that spade, and I just left my curve. I put a curve on it, but I mean, it was, you could run your fist through the rascal.
Yeah.
But I just showed them in that Hackamore, and both of them let me do it. And man, it was fun. And like,
Yeah,
and
it was.
they've just been, and it's been fun to watch them progress through the year. And like, I mean, and just coming on. And now I'm starting to put a little smaller bridle on them
You
now,
bet.
and starting to ride
Yep.
with that bridle a little more. But the first two horse shows,
And you can ride with that spade. All you do is make your chin strap a little tighter so that
Yep.
spade won't hit too much. You know, because that's the spade. If you tighten your chin strap up, where the thing won't reach the roof of their mouth, it's just a straight bar bit.
Yeah, I don't feel it.
Yeah.
Doesn't
So it's all how you adjust that. You know.
yeah, I was real careful not. I wasn't pulling on it because, like I said, I just
Well,
wanted it to. I just wanted it to like just be there. And like I said, they felt sweet. And I used them stiffer two-rein because and I think I
Right.
brought a couple of them, but one of these stiffer,
Yep.
these Don Brown two-reins,
Yep.
just a little more.
Yep.
And it was,
Them Don
And now
Brown
I'm riding
two-reins,
into soft
I
ones.
love the
Don
feel.
Brown built this stuff for horse trainers.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know, because he trained horses and he knew what we needed to be able to show these horses and this stuff and train.
But probably the big thing is that when you start in those spades and those big hackamores is that you're waiting on the hackamore you're waiting on the horse to find the hackamore, not making them go where
Right.
you want.
Yeah, it
Same
wasn't-
thing in that spade. You start making it with them
No.
big things, then you
Oh, you
blow
get
them up
yourself
and that
in
deal, now what?
Yeah, you get
Now
yourself
where
in
you
trouble.
going?
And the reason you start big in the Hackamore or the spade is to let them know that it's, you know, we want your respect. Not put something on them and force them to give us respect. Let them know we got the advantage on you, so you better learn to respect it.
And you can wait on something heavy.
Yep.
Something light, you might not be able to wait.
Well, it's not there to do.
They're not going to feel it. And
The
you're
weight's
just
not
thinking,
there, the
Yeah.
mouthpiece is not there, like a spade's a single bit, it just tells you, here it's coming, get off before it reaches that roof, huh? Where people want to use it just to make them get off a bit and use it, hurt them a little bit. But we want to just say, hey, feel it coming, move off.
Yeah.
Um,
Want to show them how to tie it?
yeah. You
Go
want to
ahead,
tie
tie
one
it,
or-
Russell.
I'll
You
hold
tie
it
it
for you.
You tie it.
Hey, which way, does it matter which way you turn?
Well, it does to me, because I want my lead rope coming out,
Right, so
on the
Or
left
left side.
Hey,
side.
Sarah's gonna be mad if the reins don't feel good. And I'm gonna tell her.
Yeah, that's right. I said I'm not dying because I know she told you guys.
Hey, you're the one that
Okay,
said.
you gotta show me why, if you're doing this, you might as well.
I know, I'm going to see if it works first.
Oh.
All right.
Well, if it doesn't work, we'll just edit it out.
Right. No edit. So, run that.
How
knot
much
down
slack do
there.
you want from your knot when you lay it in here? Do you want a little room or do you want
like
it tight?
that, or a little shorter, or whatever you want.
So
Some
about-
people put them longer.
about
I don't
8
like
inches.
them long because I don't want this flop.
So about 8 inches
Right.
out of there.
Because
I
they
don't
get
want
to
like that,
flopping.
huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're gonna come across for your rope, so you want to come across there where it's about like that.
Yeah. Then I go over that knot with that first wrap, and then I start stacking them however many I want.
You're gonna
Maybe
come
you
out
have
the
the
wrong
long
side.
one, you can do a lot.
You're coming out the wrong side.
What?
You're turning my
Backwards.
You're ruaning my Hackamore.
I'm trying, I'm doing it
You
all.
got, you gotta go
Do it on purpose.
That's how you do it.
You know what
You know why I'm doing
God.
it? I know. That's
God.
like my dad when I was shooting.
You should be watching this, not giving the clinic.
How much you paid to be here, Russell? However much these poor Bloody Marys were.
I'm not gonna measure this rope out, but I better go.
It's about right there.
That's right about there.
There you go.
Then half hitch her with it.
Right, let me just lift this over here.
And this is why you don't untie them every day.
Yeah,
Yes.
Takes forever. And then could you imagine telling your help, hey, will you go tie that hackamore?
Oh my lord.
Could you imagine?
Don't even get me started.
Of course, we probably have better hands if we did.
I'm doing the best that I can to keep them from like wondering how many times it's been over the horse's head and back the other way before next time I can touch it.
So then you just make that, you can adjust those reins.
yep, easy.
You can adjust the reins off that Makati just by sliding this and getting a little more or a little less, depending on, hold that, how much of a loop you want or you don't want.
Hey,
a
what's
loop.
the purpose of the loop? Now, that's a valid question. Like,
Yeah,
how
'cause I
imperative
see
is it?
people
to
write
have-
about that loop. Okay, and when you're riding a Hackamore horse, our rope's short here. Pull over.
You tied it.
Yeah, you know. I have my reins too short, don't I?
Okay, now when you're riding a Hackamore horse, you can carry it in either hand, you know, left or right, huh? But if you need to shorten your rope up, you just slide it like that, lengthen it out. If you're riding like this, you know, huh?
It's always in the way.
And there, well, it's not only in the way, how you gonna shorten it up?
What if it's shorter? What if
What do you want?
like,
He's never had a horse like this. He's like he's like trying to get him
right?
like that.
You can adjust from there though.
Yeah, but it don't,
Can't shorten it.
Okay.
you know, that loop there, you know, you can adjust it quicker.
Okay.
And you'll never.
So I was curious because I tied a couple shorter because I was like, I didn't have to worry with as many twists in the rascal. I tied it a little short. I was
Right.
like experimenting, and I don't
Yeah.
know if I liked it or not.
Well, it's hard to, because then you gotta slide your hand like this to shorten
yeah.
up, huh?
And that's why I was just wondering why. Because
Yeah.
I was like, I know that I always have a loop in my hand, but I didn't know why.
Yeah,
That's why it's important when you tie it too. You've got the lay of the
right,
rope.
I
right.
usually
Yeah.
tie it.
Because it's got to roll right.
Yeah.
Had them when they roll backwards. And
Yeah.
it's just
Oh.
irritating. As,
Man.
So, you
That
know,
I
like
hate.
when they do that, you take them and put them in a dryer
yeah.
and get the moisture out of them, retie them.
Oh, okay.
You
I
wet,
was
you
just
wet 'em
thinking.
and dry 'em.
Yeah, and sometimes you can,
Just spin it down
like
on the
if you tie it wrong,
That's when I retie them.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
you can,
that's why it's hey, and so that's why it's imperative too, for the camera that when
And the ropes are, most of the ropes are 22 foot.
when you're taking your hackamore on and off your horse, leave this where it belongs.
Yeah.
yeah.
Take
That-
this
that's
off
what
and this
that
comes
other
to
ropes
here.
were.
Don't be coming here and
Yeah,
then
put
taking
keys
it
in the rope.
around and you don't
Yeah.
know what your help's doing with your hackamore when you're not there. And then you get on and you're like, this thing feels like a dadgum guitar, it's out of tune. What in the world?
Make
going
that
on?
rope longer than we.
I'm gonna leave it short and send it back to Sarah and tell her you did
I'll
it.
I'll go retie it for her.
Pull that out there, Jake, and show them how to twist it. Like sometimes that thing's, you get, when you go and your loop won't, hold that. And your loop is, their loop, you gotta make it twisted first. Well, you're trying to put your loop in and you've got that kink in there. Then
roll
you
it.
just take this and roll that to where
Yeah.
your loop's right.
Spin the rope like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Then when that feels like it's laying right, then you
Then you
go
can
and
put your half hitch
tie
on
that
it.
again. Put that half
I lose,
hitch on.
I lose never have trouble with that.
Yeah.
You know, when I tie them, you know, because I make sure my rope's all straight when I put them on.
Well, I've had.
That's when you do it.
Huh?
When you're doing it, that's what you.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what,
gotta-
yeah,
yeah.
when you're doing it. And I went and picked Hackamores up that either someone put on the dang rack like this,
Oh,
or some,
yeah.
and I'm, oh, that's,
They have a memory. I mean,
yeah, they
they're
have a
gonna
memory,
steal
and
how
they
you
remember
show
it.
them.
And you got, and you, it'll happen to you on the 2-rein, probably more,
hey,
because
I've-
it's smaller and people.
you
want
jump
it.
on a 2-rein horse, you pick it up, and that rascal's like, you know,
Oh,
it's called like,
God.
have you never ridden this thing? What is this? I forget whose it was. I borrowed one or got on their horse or something. I was like, you got to be kidding me right now.
Yeah.
And
So
now-
then I decided to do
most-
it and stretch it out.
Most of our ropes are main hair ropes. You don't see any tail ropes anymore. There used to be tail ropes they used on the young horses.
And why?
Because
Tell them why.
they were stiff and prickly,
No,
you know,
yeah.
and then where they could feel it when they were using it, you know. You know, now they want, they're bad for their hands, you know. I'm old timer.
Hurts their hands.
Hurts their hands, that's what I hear.
I like alpaca myself.
Right, yes. You got soft hands.
Yeah. They all wear gloves.
But
Too, back in the old days, those horses were not near as sensitive as our horses
No.
are today. Our horses, you know, no hair, they're all
yeah,
tight skin, you know, they're feely. And I've had horses, you put a horsehair rope like that on, and boy,
oh yeah.
it itches them. And you have to go
Yeah.
find one that doesn't have hair.
Yeah, you get
They're just
them
more
little
feeling.
splits in that
Oh,
finger
I'm
right there.
telling you, wintertime
You'll
Hackamore
feel
run.
them.
You'll
feel them
you'll invest in some cotton or alpaca.
Ugh.
It's when you buy stock and white tape.
Yeah. Yeah. Athletic tape for the person.
Hope them dew rings feel good.
But that's a stiffer one than that one there's.
It's stiff too. Not as stiff as that one.
Right. That one's a little smaller diameter. It fits
Right.
under the. That's the only thing I love this one, but it's a little tricky to find a bridle that'll fit, and that's probably
That fits
that's
under.
probably the biggest challenge I run into with Tyrian Hackamore.
Right.
Is man, I get that Hackamore feeling good, and then I go put a bridle on it, and it jacks
Yeah.
up my feel.
Yeah, it's
And
got,
so
you got it's you need the smaller ones and bigger ones. You
Yeah.
know? And you know, sometimes I think Don, I've always talked about you can make them too short, too rein, because
Yeah.
you need to set it up there a little higher, make it fit right.
Yep.
The short ones are too short.
Right.
You know.
So
I run into-
sometimes you got to put it. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Sometimes, I mean, does it always fit inside the bit, or can you put some
I
up
put some up higher
above the
Yeah,
purchase?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. When we were doing the bits the other day, you know, with the metal top on, you know, where it helped.
Yeah.
They use it and that helped.
Tip them out.
You're right.
Yeah, because some of them are tight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's where I like mine to fit. It's like right where,
Right.
right on that ring, like right below the
Yep,
ring,
yep.
but in the ring. But like I say, but there's a lot of them bridles these days too.
Too
I think
tight.
those older bridles were wider mouthpiece.
Well, they shaped them up, you know, and made them out there more.
So I have a few that are a little wider, maybe a 5 3/4 inch
Right.
mouthpiece that it makes it a little easier to fit.
Nobody thinks about a 2-ring on with the bridle anymore. The old timers did, you know.
Yeah.
You know, probably back to the time thing, Murph, one of the biggest things about training a Hackamore is you need to get in at your 2-year-old year.
Yeah.
Because it's the only year in our lives anymore, now that we're not constricted to the Hackamore and the 4 and 5-year-olds. You go in the snaffle all the way through futurity, then you go in the snaffle through the derbies. If you wanted to go to the Hackamore, you snaffled the 2 and 3-year-old year, and now we have
Right.
two months between the World Show, our first derby, and our last futurity. So honestly, the only time that's slow enough that you can take the time is that 2-year-old year.
Right.
And you
And-
can
and-
attest to the switching back and forth.
Yeah. When you, you know, like, to me, you can ride these horses, 3-year-olds in the Hackamore, and they'll save their mouths and develop the other parts of their body for you, you know. And where the snaffle, you know, if you use it all the time, you're gonna pull on.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you need that little extra sometimes.
And a person can not feel in
Right.
a snaffle, but
Yep.
that gets pretty tough to pull off now.
Yeah.
And you can be guarding and doing things in that snaffle. Like Murph said, you go back to that Hackamore and you say, hey, I've been holding them over there. I haven't been letting them follow.
Well, I'm afraid to go to Hackamore because I can feel it in the snaffle. I can't get it fixed in the snaffle. I'm like, there ain't no way I'm putting a Hackamore.
You can get a lot of face in the Hackamore.
Holy
though.
moly.
What gets me a little
Close the
bit,
gate.
Mark, close the gates. Everybody gets talking about I'm not scared to get in a Hackamore, scared to get in a Hackamore. I'm out of this snaffle. When I pull on them in the snaffle, they just open their mouth and go faster.
Right.
Playing the Hackamore, I got a little feel in this rascal. And I'm
Yep.
like, I don't know why we got to show these things in snaffle
Yep.
so darn much. But I seem to be in the minority there.
You
Yeah.
can get out there and bring one in that Hackamore, especially when
People
you're young.
just don't understand no more. You know, I go
Where to
around
pull.
to lots of places, you know. I was at Corey's the other day, and we were talking about, I said, when'd you ride them horse in the Hackamore? We're getting ready for the Hackamore Classic. And I said, you better ride that sucker in the Hackamore every day, you know. And so he did. He did good, but I said, he's got a bunch of good Hackamores. I said, why don't you use them? Because he was telling me, well, I got this problem with this 3-year-old and stuff. And so he started riding them all in the Hackamore. He rode miles there, you know. He said, I cannot believe how much I got done. I couldn't get down with the staff alone. And so it was kind of, surprising to me that he did.
Well, he really don't need no help. So you need to stay, you just,
Yeah, right?
Yeah, let it be.
Or
let
you,
it
what are
be.
you talking about?
Yeah.
You and your
what are you
wife.
talking about?
You take lessons from your wife every damn day.
Every day.
I don't have anybody. I get
You
lessons.
don't,
Barrel,
you don't listen.
barrel racing, and I get good barrel racing.
Yeah.
Showing. Yeah.
Hey, what are your thoughts, Don, on the loping hackamores? Some people are riding them things loping hackamore something.
It's not the tradition, but, it's better than not using,
I know that's what we do at our house a lot. We start them in there just so so we're saving them lips for the snaffle
Right.
a little bit,
Yep, you bet.
and so they can kind of yard around. And I haven't gone to the starting them in the bigger hackamores yet because I don't want them to get fouled there either.
No,
And
no.
so that loping hackamore kind of lets me, when I'm away from home and I've got some other people riding them horses and exercising them, maybe taking them outside, seeing trees, just going and traveling.
Right.
I haven't put them in loping hackamores, and just so they have some idea about getting rid
You
of them
bet.
from there
Yep.
without hopefully taking the feel away that I'm going to want on them as a horse in that hackamore.
Yeah, it's, for the modern day, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't fit what they did in the old days, but yeah.
Right.
And, I'm just talking about the tradition and the vaquero tradition. I'm not talking about back here when they were roaming roping hackamores all their life back here, in the, called the grazing style bits, and that's how they used the hackamore, So, I don't know.
Well, and then
I don't think it hurts nothing. I think it's better, like you said, than I wouldn't want to put a hackamore on and send the boys out there who don't know how to use it.
Right. Well, that's
That could be
kind of
bad.
what we run into, and that's the modern day deal. The trap. We're
Yeah.
training horses. We're not ranching. We're not cowboys.
No,
we're just
training
horse showing.
horses. It's a horse
And-
training deal.
Yeah, and so like I say, trying to go through those numbers.
Yeah,
the variable would be that in that loping hackamore, you're just pulling them. They're not having to find the center.
right.
But you're not ruining them on
Right.
finding the
For the
center.
most
either.
part, they're just guiding anyway.
Yeah.
You're not having them pull their
Right.
nose
No.
around or
Yeah.
If they pull on, they still should do this.
Right.
Yeah.
You gotta teach them to do that. They do this and
Yeah.
yard them around as you do
Yeah.
damage.
Try and go let them trot around some
Yeah.
trees and steer them around a little bit like that. And give everybody a purpose and get them the heck out of the arena. And
Yeah.
not just be irritating them every single day.
Yep.
I tell them all the time. I'm like, hey, they got their whole life to be irritated for crying out loud.
Yeah.
Let's not do it now.
No,
You do that
wanna get
after you
their
tie the
minds
knot.
right.
Right.
Well, we better get back to our fraternity.
Yeah, Jake's
Thanks, Murph.
Jake's gotta get going. He's the 8th horses in
And
there.
Dawn and Chris. We'll have some more of these later and we'll get into it even deeper.
Yep.
See you next time.